life is actually easier now, genuinely measurably easier, more stable, less frightening than it was during that one specific hard year you barely survived. And somehow, on certain quiet nights, you catch yourself missing it, not the pain itself, but something underneath the pain, that current, comfortable life does not seem to offer in the same way, a clarity, an intensity, a sense that everything mattered enormously and every single day required your full presence. You feel almost guilty admitting this since the hard year was objectively worse in every practical sense, and yet some part of you keeps circling back to it like it was somehow more alive than the easier life you are living now. Carl Jung had a real explanation for this strange, uncomfortable nostalgia. Jung believed that genuine crisis, however painful, strips away almost everything non-essential, forcing a person into direct, unavoidable contact with what actually matters most: survival, connection, meaning, the basic truth of their own priorities laid bare with no room left for distraction or pretense. This produces a specific and intense kind of aliveness that ordinary, comfortable existence rarely demands, since comfort, by its very nature, allows a person to drift, to remain only partially present, to avoid the direct confrontation with meaning that genuine crisis makes unavoidable. What you are actually missing is rarely the difficulty itself. It is the forced total presence that difficulty demanded, a presence your current easier life has not required from you in the same way. This explains why the nostalgia feels so uncomfortable and so difficult to admit, since it seems to suggest wrongly that you would prefer the hardship back. What you actually miss is not the suffering. It is the specific quality of aliveness the suffering happened to force out of you, a quality that comfortable, ordinary life can also provide, but that comfortable life rarely demands the way genuine crisis automatically does. If you recognize this feeling in your own life, hear this clearly. This nostalgia is not evidence that you are somehow broken or that you secretly prefer difficulty over ease. It is genuine, useful information about a specific quality of aliveness and presence that your current life may currently be lacking, one that does not actually require another crisis in order to be recovered. Here is what actually helps. It helps to name honestly, in specific terms, what exact quality that hard year gave you that current life does not: full presence, deep connection with the people who supported you through it, a clear and urgent sense of what actually mattered. Once named specifically, it becomes possible to ask directly whether any version of that same quality could genuinely be built into your current, easier life, deliberately and consciously rather than only accessed accidentally through crisis. There is a second thing worth doing, and it protects you from unconsciously recreating difficulty simply to feel that intensity again. It helps to deliberately build small, chosen forms of genuine challenge and full presence into an otherwise comfortable life, real engagement with something meaningful, real vulnerability with people you trust, real full attention given to ordinary moments rather than partial distracted presence, so that the specific aliveness you are actually missing has a legitimate chosen outlet rather than needing an unwanted crisis to summon it back. Think honestly about your own hardest, most difficult period and consider what specific quality of aliveness or presence it produced in you, separate entirely from the actual pain involved, right below the single word for that specific quality. Naming it and finding a chosen, deliberate way to build it back into your current, easier life is the real and practical way this strange nostalgia finally makes sense and finally gets answered without needing another crisis to summon it. Because feeling nostalgic for your own hardest year was never, according to Carl Jung's understanding, evidence that you secretly preferred the suffering. It was genuine longing for a specific quality of aliveness that difficulty happened to force out of you, one that can, with real intention, be built into an easier life too.